So let me just quickly tell you what OneSpace is and why you guys should care about what we're talking about. So OneSpace is a provider of consumer search data. We have data across 10 million US shoppers who share their search behavior across multiple retailers with us in real time. We then aggregate that information and use it to help people optimize more effectively across, when I say people, you guys, CPGs, across the digital channels. So you'll see the data today that we're going to look at in this presentation covers the retailers listed up here. It also covers Walmart Grocery and Amazon Prime Now. We also help more than 750 brands execute cross-retailer optimization, which is not an easy thing, and we're going to talk a lot about that. There's a lot of slides in my presentation today. I'm going to go quick, and so hopefully you guys can watch up here. If you want a copy of this presentation afterwards, because I am going to go quick, please hit us up at the OneSpace booth, and we'll make sure that you get one. So I think you guys know that CPG is growing fast. This is something you're probably going to hear multiple times over the next couple of days, so I won't spend a ton of time talking about this one. The percentage of grocery purchases made online is going to continue, it has been and will continue to accelerate. One of the big reasons for this is one of the major changes you guys saw this year with Walmart rolling out pickup at 3,000 out of 4,000 store locations. They're going to continue to grow that effort. Instacart can now reach 80% of US households. You guys just heard from Shipt. They're reaching a huge percentage of US households. So the bottom line is it's not just about e-commerce anymore. It's about how consumers get their staples, and that's changing. So to that extent, this is what product discovery used to look like. You can see it's a very limited shelf space. We went into the grocery store and we found what we wanted to buy. Today, this is what product discovery looks like. And as e-commerce marketers, you have a completely new universe of things to think about. The whole world was push. You fill up a shelf, people look at the shelf, they make a decision about what they're seeing. Now it's all pull. Consumers are typing into the search box what they want to buy in the words that they use. And you have to respond to that. You have to be ready for it. It's completely new. So if we break this down, the stuff that you guys need to do to be successful is number one, you have to get found. Two, you have to get purchased. So we're going to kind of break those two things out and walk you through what's important about those things. In order to get found, before we talk about how do you optimize, you have to know what people are searching for. So how do retailers rank products in search? This is a pretty important thing. First, manual, which is code for however the heck they want. Called private label showing up in the first two rows of search is not a big surprise. They have, if you have a really good relationship with your buyer, you might all of a sudden find that your product is sitting in the top row of the search results. This is a fact that everybody has to deal with and is not something you should spend any time worrying about it because the reality is you can't control it. But there are two things that you can control. One is paid and the other is organic. There are tons of paid search opportunities and they're going to continue to emerge. And so that's a very good thing. I think all of you should be thinking about how can I take advantage of paid search opportunities across the channel. Super important. But here's the crazy thing. If we all agree that Amazon is the most well-developed paid channel today, there's the most advertising opportunities there, it is driving 10% of the sales of the product page views. That means 90% of the product page views are driven by organic search. So I talk to lots of brands and I hear all the time, it's like, hey, we're gonna first invest in our paid ad strategy. We can control that. I can turn it on. I can tell my boss it's running. People are happy. But the reality is there's two real big pieces that you really should be thinking about. One is your content. We're gonna talk about that because that actually drives better conversion across both paid and organic. But organic is where it's at. Organic is the long tail and it's massive. So we're gonna talk a little bit about what this looks like. Next up here is we all can agree, I think, that on Amazon, and I'm using Amazon in this moment as kind of an example for all these other retailers, but there's a lot of data out there about Amazon. What we need to know is that we've got to put ourselves in those first three rows on Amazon, or else we start to become invisible. If you're after the first page, you might as well not even be putting effort into it. So if I'm you guys, I'm tracking what's happening on page one of every retailer that I care about. That's where you can actually drive a difference. So I'm gonna help you figure out how to get yourself on page 1 today. And the first thing you need to do is to understand how consumers search. So how many of you guys use Google data to help you figure out what consumers are searching for? Okay, so Google is not a good guide. Here's why. So today you see that 54% of product searches start on Amazon. We all know this. That doesn't mean that they end there. People actually go other places and buy, but that's where consumers go. And guess what? When somebody has a high purchase intent, they're gonna go to Amazon. When they wanna do research, when they're not sure what they wanna purchase, those searches often go to Google. So if you're looking at Google data, you have a very skewed view towards the top of the funnel. So you're missing key data that flows lower, closer to the point of purchase. So Google data is a good thing to look at, but you really have to look at retailer search data. So the next thing I hear a ton is, hey, we have Amazon ARAP. How many of you guys have Amazon Retail Analytics Premium data? Okay, not as many as I thought. If you do have Amazon data, that is a good guide, but it can also be misleading. So search really differs a ton from retailer to retailer. And this is the land of opportunity, because what I can tell you today is when we're looking at the big players out there in the food and beverage space, they are looking at Amazon and generally using that as their proxy across the rest of the channel. I'm gonna build my content for Amazon, I'm gonna build my strategy around Amazon, and then I'm just gonna roll it out to Walmart and Kroger and Meijer and Instacart. But the reality is all of these places are different, and if you think like that, you're gonna have a really big opportunity. So let me just show you a couple of things that I look at to determine this. This is branded versus unbranded search in the coffee, tea, and cocoa category. You can see on Instacart, you have almost 85% of the people are not entering a brand in their search query. On Walmart, you have a huge percentage of people, a bigger percentage, but still 65% of the people are not. On Kroger, it's very unbranded. On Target, that's the most heavily branded search property. So this is just one thing to help show you that search is really different across these retailer channels. People also use different words to describe similar items. So this is an example where you can see the volume over time for cold brew on Amazon, the volume over time for iced coffee on Walmart. What this tells you is if you're trying to figure out how to optimize for a cold brew coffee, a lot of regular people call cold brew iced coffee. So what you see here is a demographic on Amazon who knows I'm looking for cold brew coffee. On Walmart, people are saying I'm looking for iced coffee. But guess what? You can sell the same product to both of those people. So which are you gonna put more to top and to the left in your title? And you should do it differently on Amazon and Walmart if you wanna take max advantage. Here's another huge driver. The technical aspects of the sites and their architecture make a big difference. So if you type in CER in the Walmart search box, you get cereal and food, cereal, CeraVe, which is a lotion, and then the next one is cereals for breakfast. So that's kind of interesting. So then I said, okay, what does the data look like for cereals for breakfast? Well, what we see, and you guys haven't seen one of these charts yet, but this is our data grid across all the retailers. And what I can see is that if you're a cereal company, I would make sure that you're getting cereals for breakfast in your Walmart titles because it's massively searched there because of that search suggests. People click that. It's not even showing up on the retailer. This is not a term that a normal person goes and types into the search box. I mean, cereals for breakfast, that's such a weird thing, right? You should eat cereal all the time from morning until night. And this proves it right here. But this is a key way to think about it. Another good example, if you look at Sam's Club, search suggests healthy snacks. The second phrase is individually wrapped. We look at the data, we see something very similar where Sam's Club is crushing this particular term. But if you don't know that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep going back to Amazon or going back to Google and putting the same words in your content and not understanding that there are massive, massive differences. There are lots of ways you can get this data. You can go and talk to the people at the retailer. Sometimes they're willing to provide you with limited data. There's a tool out there called SEMrush that shows you what traffic each of these retailers are buying. And so you can kind of like assume that if they're buying traffic on something, it's gonna result in search terms. I'm giving you all the ways other than getting it from us. So there's probably other sources as well. Here's another interesting thing when you look at what Amazon reports. They're only reporting a small percentage of the searches that they see. So if I go and I pull an ARAP report for a quarter, I'm going to get like 800,000 to 1.2 million terms. I can tell you right now that that is nothing remotely close to what they have on record for that period. I mean, it's like the very top of the long tail. So in this particular case, what I see is if I go say, how many different terms do you, Amazon, tell me are searched for healthy snacks during Q2? They're giving me 8 rows of data back. And that's what they're saying are the top search terms during that period. When I look at our data, I see 54 unique phrases that contain the term healthy snacks across 9 retailers. So all of those things that we just talked about are going into this, but the point is this search landscape is much bigger than what you're being told right now. Amazon wants to focus your attention on top volume searches so that you will pay more for that traffic, which is a good thing on their part, and you're probably getting value from it too. My point is, don't forget about the rest of the universe. You have big product portfolios, and you should be very focused on matching your portfolio to these terms. Paid search is another big technical driver of difference. So what you see here is an ad on Google. When I type in keto snack packs, Amazon is advertising for keto snack packs. When I click it, I don't get a page that they built for that. I get a search results page for keto snack packs. So sometimes in our data, we'll see a huge spike where you get 500,000 searches on a retailer in 1 month. Well, what that is they're buying paid traffic, and then their budget dries up, and it just drops off and never comes back. So there are things that you can, if you're watching this data, you can take huge advantage of these little intricacies in various niches and pull a lot of traffic in at a very low cost if you know how to optimize. Site architecture also makes a difference. Just a quick example on Kroger. When you're navigating through, if I click on organic produce, I'm not going to an organic produce category page. I'm going to a search result for organic produce. So these are all things that can help you understand what the big search terms on these retailers are if you understand how this works. So let's talk really quickly. I'm talking fast, I know. What are we going to do to maximize conversion rate? Because that's the second thing. Once you understand what they're looking for, how do we actually convert? So the first big one is titles, bullets, descriptions. The bottom line is there's so much data out there. I think you guys have this message that you have to build great content. Anthony talked about it from Kraft Heinz a little bit ago. Getting your content squared away and really selling to customers is something that is a non-negotiable. You can see right here on the right, this is the average description length, bullet count, and image count for top performers. If you look at the grocery-specific category on Amazon, top 15,000 products. Best sellers at the top of the list, average in the blue. Bottom sellers on the bottom of the list, average in the orange. So it's helping show that you have to build good content in order to sell, in order to be successful. But these requirements of what you have to do for each retailer are different across platforms. And oh man, in the next 5 minutes and 20 seconds, I'm gonna try to rock it out and tell you guys what you need to do here. This is gonna be tight. So, let's start with a quick deep dive on Walmart and Walmart Grocery. I figured you guys of all these retailers would probably care about that the most. So Walmart and Walmart Grocery both allow HTML. You may not know what that means. I'm going to show you. What I would recommend doing before I show you the example is make sure, just star this, that you're publishing to Walmart and to Walmart Grocery separately. It's 2 different consumers, it's 2 different audiences. You take the same template and you can publish to both locations. That lets you optimize for Walmart Grocery separately than Walmart.com, which especially in this room, you should all be doing. So what do I mean when I say Walmart will let you show HTML? What you see down here at the bottom of the page, Walmart allows you to put 4,000 characters on the page. Amazon allows you to put 2,000 characters on the page. If you want to build a best-in-class content experience, you should build with Walmart as your standard. They allow much more than anybody else. You can drop bold tags, you can make a nice layout so consumers can read your description. You can even put links in here. So think, on .com, you could drive traffic away from unprofitable SKUs on .com to a SKU that's profitable in OGP. So there's lots and lots of technical opportunity in Walmart to do very innovative things. I'm not saying that Walmart is going to leave this open. This is not something that they publicize, but I would get on it while the getting's good, because at some point that's going to go away. The other thing here is that Grocery offers a special features field that is considered in the search algorithm that is not available on .com, so a lot of people don't fill it out at all. It's a huge opportunity to get twice as much content on your grocery pages. This is the section of the grocery page that I'm talking about down here under special features. You can put another 2,000 characters in there. So you can put a second list of bullet points. It actually shows up pretty high within the grocery page, and that's another big opportunity to help and build relevancy in Walmart grocery pickup. The next thing is shelf descriptions. So this is some technical weed stuff, but this is gonna help you guys rank. Shelf descriptions are also important. They show up for certain categories. Walmart forces the search results into list form. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but there's 3 bullet points that show up underneath of the search result, and you gotta win the click, right? So make sure you fill out those shelf descriptions and you'll see them start to show up in that list view. Next, mobile hero images. How many of you guys are working on or thinking about mobile hero images? Okay, this is a huge one. You have to win the click from the search results page. So if I was gonna do one thing, people are always like, what order would you build your roadmap? Mobile heroes first, easy. But mobile heroes aren't always the strip that you see, the original Unilever format. This is just as a quick, people ask all the time, I'm gonna give you a link to this site. You guys should spend some time on it. It's called the Inclusive Design Toolkit from Cambridge. These are sales lift numbers that they posted after rolling out mobile heroes on these particular products. They did it across 4 retailers. So if you guys need some arguments to go in and build cases to get budget to be able to do this stuff, Cambridge University makes it all available to you. So there's actually a link on there that says get sales results for the tests. One size does not fit all in this space. If you think about it, you need to do different things with your single pack mobile heroes as your multi-pack mobile heroes. That site that I'm gonna give you the link to actually breaks out each type and when you should use it. It's super valuable. You gotta make sure that your mobile hero is getting across the 4 things at the bottom. So what's the brand? What is it? What variety is it, and how much of it is there? You saw the stat with Albertsons this morning. That's really a mobile hero image. So you get the pack, you got the Miller Coors or the Coors can pulled out. He said that they saw a 10% lift above category growth with that test. So it's just one more stat to show you. This is big stuff. In addition, there's some other really cool things you can do. So mobile hero styles you should test are all listed here. You see some are cleaned up pack versions. You see kind of the traditional strip. You also have ones like we're doing on the bottom right over here, the real turkey is #1 ingredient image. Those really stand out on the page when you're looking at a page full of results, and you can get your marketing message right across. You can see Organic Valley up here is listing critical info above their package to help differentiate. If you're advertising on Amazon using headline images, you should definitely think about doing that because you can see the information broken out at the top. It really helps differentiate. Those pack shots get real small in those headline ads, so you've got to do something different to bring people's attention and be able to see what products you're actually showing them. So this is the site, links up there, ecommerce.inclusivedesigntoolkit.com. I couldn't believe it when I found this site. They just updated it like 30 days ago. So for those of you who are familiar with the GS1 standards, you might not have seen this, but it's really good. Okay, image carousels. Images are the new bullets. Once again, Anthony was speaking my language. You heard him talk about this morning. The most important thing is to make sure that all of your features are articulated in bullet form. What this does is it helps shoppers on a mobile device who are just going to page through to see all of the features and benefits of your product. This is always at the top left corner of the page, which is the most conversion intensive area. So I would invest second in image carousels when I'm talking about conversion. Walmart also, just as a note, does offer added image capabilities. You can see their hotspot type image here. They do this in all categories, but if you have a product that has a lot of nutrition features or takes a little bit more to understand, I would recommend talking with them about some of those hotspotted images so that you can get more interaction with the customer with your product image. Navigation attributes is an unsexy but unbelievably effective technique. So when you're setting up your products across all of the retailers, they're asking you for navigation attributes, but my guess is you might not be filling them out. We often find that people do not fill them out. And what that means is that when somebody goes and filters on Amazon or on any of the other sites, your product isn't going to show up. So this is on Amazon, this is only set when you do item setup. So you're not going to see it in an update template anywhere. You need to file a ticket with Amazon and ask them to update your navigation attributes if you haven't done this. With Walmart, you can see it's super important. It's a great opportunity too. This example right here shows you in this entire herbs, spices, and seasoning category of 583 items, there's only 3 that are listed as gluten-free. So if I go check that gluten-free box, I'm gonna see 3 out of 583 products, and those 3 are gonna get purchased all the time by people who are on a gluten-free diet. And there's stats out there that say 30% of Americans are in a food tribe at this point. I've seen some that say 60% of Americans follow a specialized diet. And this particular industry is one where people are very intent on using filters to find the types of foods that they need. So one other tip here with Walmart and what you were seeing on that last slide is that Walmart, you can fill these out in their template. It's usually ignored, but they have this add more button with many of their attributes, so you can actually continue to add. So instead of just saying cuisine and you fill out that column and say international, you can hit add more and it'll give you another one, and you can put your stuff in Asian. Add more, another one, you can put it in, whatever the list allows. So I would recommend going through and being really diligent because it's a lot of visibility you can gain. Another good tip is on Target. Label Insights actually powers their left-hand navigation and the attribute list for the products. So if you submit your items to Label Insights, which is free, they will take all of the information off your nutrition labels, transcribe it all, turn it into data, and then allow retailers like Target to automatically serve that to customers. So if your products aren't submitted to Label Insights today, I can guarantee you on Target, they're not showing up when you choose a specialized dietary need. So it's a really good opportunity, and it costs CPGs nothing. Last couple slides, we're gonna bang through them. Enhanced content. This one used to be an okay thing for food and beverage. Today, it has taken on a completely new meaning, mainly driven by Amazon. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Amazon today replaces the description and in some cases bullets on a mobile device. So 60% of shoppers on Amazon are on a mobile device. Bullets and description appear below enhanced content. So the downside is if you guys have gone out and built great brand style enhanced content, that's not gonna win because that's the first thing that people read about this specific product. So you have to start to focus on product specific enhanced content. You need to get a product description on the page. So you can see what Organic Valley has done over here is they actually take this enhanced block and they show a product description, bullets on the right, and they kind of get less specific as they go down the page. So think about it where it gets real specific all the way down where your brand module might be your last one. But this is a change that Amazon made about 8 months ago, and it's driving a pretty massive shift, and everybody's redoing all their enhanced content to make sure it's in the appropriate order. All right, so in summary, every retailer is giving you guys a different set of opportunities up here. You guys won't believe it. I had 110 slides in this deck at one point. I cut it down to what we just did. So there's a lot more to say. I'd love to talk to you guys more about it, but for today, I think we've covered as much as we can. We're happy to share this grid out as well if any of you are interested just to get an overview of the requirements. But that's it. I think it's lunchtime. Is that right? Okay, good job. Happy eating.